after around about a minute against Dina Miletic, the Serbian. Karina KOROBOVA comes to the ring, the Russian, and she'll be looking for a similar performance. And when I say it was 1 minute and devastating, it was absolutely devastating. The Serbs trainers had her towel ready and prepared after the first standing count, and then the second came. It was quickly thrown in after that. She didn't have any reply whatsoever for KOROBOVA, who was tested in her quarter-final against the Belarusian Alina Kadzushova. But she will hope that that is out of her system. KOROBOVA looking for a big victory in the final against the German fighter Christovalantoù. KOUTSOCHRISTOU coming into the ring, the German. Didn't have an easy time in her semi-final against Polina Mishchenko, the Ukrainian. A 3-2 victory in the end from the judges. Far from unanimous, very difficult, but she came back in the third round in particular after struggling in the first, but she grew into the fight. It's very contrasting, those two semi-finals. KOROBOVA gets it done in a minute in the first, and the German who just had to work her way into it. But it's interesting that she can see and change her style to see where the opportunities will come as the fight goes on. KOUTSOCHRISTOU will perhaps need to do that again. I just wonder if KOROBOVA is going to come out and be super aggressive. Already taken first place in a couple of tournaments this year in 2021. KOROBOVA back in Russia.
That's what I'm wondering is how KOROBOVA is going to go about this. She got that stoppage, as you said, really early in her fight, and good to hear that the Serbian corner were just ready to throw the towel, ready to stop that fight when they realised that their fighter was just out of her depth. That's what your corner's there for. You don't need your corner to be brave on your behalf. You need them to do what's best for you, and they obviously did. But KOROBOVA will be high on that. The confidence will be bursting out of it.
Well, KOUTSOCHRISTOU will know that if the first round doesn't go her way for whatever reason, as long as she stays in this fight, there is a chance to turn it round, and she will of course be able to go back to her corner between rounds and reassess and perhaps rethink tactically as round one starts in the final of the featherweight category here in Tbilisi, Georgia. And it is KOROBOVA who is the aggressor early on, raining down punches very quickly, and it's difficult for the German to reply already because they just keep coming. That's a fantastic right hand. They're unstoppable in the opening 20 seconds or so from KOROBOVA. Very good start from the Russian. Very careful not to throw anything to the back of the head, KOROBOVA, which shows that she is in control of this volley of punches that are coming. Another right gets straight through, following up from that neat left. And another strong combination, the right followed by the left immediately, and you saw KOUTSOCHRISTOU's head rock back slightly, and she felt the brunt of those blows.
This is difficult for KOUTSOCHRISTOU. She's just got to try and stay in this at the minute. But when she gets caught at that kind of distance, that three-quarter range, she comes off second best. She can't be there at the minute. She needs to be all the way out or all the way in. If she gets caught in the middle, like she did there with that right hand, then she's getting picked off.
Whenever she ducks her head in, just as we saw there seems to be a right fist coming straight towards it. You certainly feel that KOROBOVA has a slightly stockier frame in her, but she's able to generate so much power because of that. Another good right hand, followed immediately by a left, and that left holding KOUTSOCHRISTOU at bay as well, so she's unable to reply. This has been a tough first round for the German fighter out of the blue corner, and it's going to be very interesting how she may try and change her approach as this fight goes on. A little tag with the left just to finish the round, to remind her opponent she's still there. But the barrage of punches that started to rain down on her, and you can see the pink cheeks and the slightly pink face in KOUTSOCHRISTOU. She goes back to her corner. She's taken a few licks in that first round. It's no real surprise that the judges' scorecards reflect that.
None at all. There's 3 10-8s in there as well. A 10-8 from Spain, one from Azerbaijan, one from Ukraine. You could understand that. It's about interpreting dominance. And she was very dominant there, KOROBOVA. She's a good fighter. She lets those hands go well. Her balance is good. You see her just pull back and avoid punches herself on a few occasions. And for KOUTSOCHRISTOU, I'm not really sure how she solves this puzzle, to be honest, because she can't get caught in that middle distance. Like I said, she could try and keep this on the outside, keep KOROBOVA moving, keep her turning. I think she can minimise the damage doing that, but I don't think she can win the fight doing that. It's hard to see how she can win this fight, honestly, off the back of that first round. With
such strong punches coming, she doesn't seem to have a way to get any way around them, to duck away from them. And we'll see what the German has in her locker going into round 2. As KOROBOVA is a little more tentative in the initial exchanges. A good left, and then the punches start to fly. 1, 2, 3 quickly, and certainly 2 of them catching. Another couple more coming straight down Main Street and landing on the German.
She's ready to go at all times, KOROBOVA. You see her she's on that borderline of range, and then she'll step in and let her hands go. That trigger is ready to be pulled at all times. And KOUTSOCHRISTOU, credit to her, she's taken plenty here, and she's not looked like wilting at any point. She's really gritting this out and trying to get her own punches off.
There has been the odd deep breath or two from the fighter in blue, but that's to be expected. This, at least in that sort of position, it's limiting the ability of KOROBOVA to have that 3/4 range, as you mentioned, Andy. She's right in tight, but there's very little that can come from KOUTSOCHRISTOU in that position as well. I suppose now at this point she will know the scorecard from that first round. KOROBOVA, she will know there's no need to take any needless knocks in this second round and do enough to try and wrap it up already and just be a very controlled fighter from this point. KOUTSOCHRISTOU trying her best, but as soon as she starts to feel a bit of momentum, there's at least one that lands square on her jaw or around the cheeks and just prevents her from continuing that momentum moving forward in her favour. She takes another one with the left.
She's good defensively as well, though, KOROBOVA, because a couple of times when KOUTSOCHRISTOU's come forward, she just takes those feet back, she drops the gloves, just pulls her weight onto her back foot a little bit, takes her head out, and KOUTSOCHRISTOU's trying to close that distance, but she just can't land on her. And there's nothing gung-ho about what KOROBOVA does. It's methodical. She comes forward, she throws punches, she moves her head on the way in, tilts it to the left-hand side every now and again, and she just got the look of somebody who's really, really at home in the ring, which at 15, 16 years old is always impressive.
1-10-8 on the board for KOROBOVA, the rest 10-9s from the judges, but safely in the Russians' favour, and something very special is going to be needed now from the German fighter KOUTSOCHRISTOU to be able to turn the tide in this bout. We just saw the final punch of that round that KOROBOVA was able to connect with right before the bell. Was just it looked a lethargic almost left, but it jolted her opponent's head right back, and you can see that the power comes so easily to her because she, as you mentioned, she's like a spring. She's cocked and ready to go with either glove almost all the time.
Yeah, exactly. We mentioned it earlier on, fighters who are nice and relaxed have got that fluidity, have got that kind of elasticity. They're not loading up, they're not getting tight, they're not trying to force anything, they're just letting their hands go. But boxing is in general a high failure rate sport. Most of what you throw won't land. You can't get too obsessed with that. You just need to trust yourself and keep throwing, and she's landed a couple of solid ones right at the start of the third round.
Yeah, 2 lovely right hands. There's a left in the middle as well, a little left jab, another good jab there that knocks the head back of the German. KOUTSOCHRISTOU just trying to find any way to find a connection, aiming for the body there, but immediately as they separate, it's another flurry of red gloves coming towards her. And again from KOROBOVA, it's fairly patient. It's just when her opponent decides to step forward, that's when then she'll swing back straight away, but happy at this point now with the fight well in her favour on the scorecard to not hurry things along too much, but take her opportunities and take them with real venom when they come her way. And a minute to go here in round 3.
I tell you what would be really interesting would to see KOROBOVA in with a fighter who had a bit of height and reach on her and a good solid jab, as to whether you could keep her off. That's your problem, is can you keep her off? As I said, it's not gung-ho what she does. It's good technique. It's just good quality punching, decent variety to it as well. And defensively, she's fairly sound. But were she to be up against someone who could meet her as she came in with a real stiff jab, then that could get interesting. KOUTSOCHRISTOU's done everything she could possibly do here. You've got to give her credit. She's shown a lot of grit. She's looked to try and keep her boxing together, but KOROBOVA's just had too much from her right from the off.
Yeah, great resilience from the German, particularly after the first round of this bout, where she really did take a number of licks. Quick tap of the gloves from each fighter. KOROBOVA will know that she's got the job done. KOUTSOCHRISTOU will certainly know, particularly tomorrow morning, that she's been in a fight and a half there, because she had to really battle hard to get to land anything at all, or have even an opportunity to land anything. And credit to her, she stuck it out for the full 3 rounds. It wasn't even a chance of a standing count. She had, as you say, great determination, great strength to just keep going. But in the end, the stronger fighter, more than a match for her, and able to take the victory quite comfortably.
Good win from KOROBOVA. Good point you make there, though, about the absence of any standing counts, because that in itself, I'm not trying to be patronising, that in itself is not an insignificant achievement, actually, against KOROBOVA, because she lets her hands go relentlessly, and KOUTSOCHRISTOU never really looked hurt. Did get caught with some good single shots, but generally speaking didn't get nailed with 2, 3, 4 punch combinations, and that's why the referee at no point decided that he needed to give a standing count. A different referee might have done, but KOUTSOCHRISTOU will learn plenty from that. Some 10-8, 1-10-8 in that final round there. So those are comprehensive cards. Those are as wide as we've seen in the finals that we've watched so far this afternoon. But KOUTSOCHRISTOU comes away with a silver medal. KOROBOVA, another gold for Russia, another gold.
Well, you'd say that's as wide a card that we've seen, but that's probably about as wide a fight as we've seen as well so far this afternoon. And it was straight from the get-go. As soon as the bell went for round 1 and the first punches were exchanged, and you just felt, after taking 3 early blows in the first volley, that it was going to be an uphill task for KOUTSOCHRISTOU.
You did, you very much did. A new team of officials just arriving at ringside, because our next final is just a few moments away. This is a good fight we've got coming up here as well. Been looking forward to this one. Lightweight category, 60 kilos. Andra Sebe of Romania against Daria Novinskaya of Russia.